Everybody, welcome to yet another episode of Life with Lerato Khanyama. I think it keeps changing all the time. I know it's been a minute, but I promise to upload as many videos as I can. I am kind of busy, but also I like recording my episodes when I'm feeling truly inspired. So I've been swamped with work. Emotionally I haven't been there, but I promise to give you loads and loads of episodes. So it's Bed Talk. You guys have been asking for Bed Talk, and today I want to speak about her. Some of you guys that follow me on Instagram will know her. Her name is Tsholo, my best friend. Yay! Finally! When she told me that she actually is coming to do Bed Talk with me, I was like, she lied.
Yeah, and you still checked with me again.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was supposed to be the three of us with Craig, but he's in Cape Town, but it's going to be the two of us. And today we are actually talking about something very important. Mm-hmm. For me personally, and I think for a lot of people, especially when you get older, we're talking about friendship. But before we actually continue, don't forget to subscribe. Yes, do the damn thing. So we're talking about friendship. It's quite it's not an intense topic, but it can be quite intense, especially if you've had bad experience with friends and friendship.
It's a meaningful topic. I think friends and relationship give us so much meaning in our lives. So I think it's quite a meaningful topic. And because people have gone through bad experiences, I think it just speaks to how intense it is to have relationships and friends. Yeah. So friends are really important. So I think it's a big topic to discuss.
By the way, she's a psychologist, so it's going to be quite an interesting one. Yeah. Maybe I'm actually somehow in a therapy session.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. But Tsholo, off camera we were talking about the importance of having friends. Why do we need friends? But then you were like, what do you look for in a friend? What attracts you to how did you phrase it?
Yeah, I think the first thing would be what attracts you to the people that are in your life, like friends. What pulls you close to them? And I think it's good to also look at that, because some friendships are based on a foundation that's completely wrong. Yeah. And then you're trying at a later stage to foster a deep friendship. Yeah. But meanwhile, the friendship was based on something that was not really deep initially.
So, for example, you meet people or you make friends with someone who basically just wants to get something out of you or from you, money. Yeah. And then for years, you're providing for them, and somehow you get exhausted and you start thinking, actually, I want a real friendship from that. So it will be tricky for you to try and get a real friendship from that when it's been based on something else from the word go.
To change the script. Yeah. So I think in the beginning we are attracted to people for certain reasons, and I think it's really important to look at those reasons. Why do I have these people around me? It's important to audit your friends and audit who does what for you, and do you still need them to carry on.
I like that, but I can't pinpoint what I look for in friends, especially how we met. How we met is the most funniest thing ever, but we connected on so many levels without even effortlessly so. It was just incredible. So there isn't anything in particular that I look for. I think it's just more of and I'm also very much an energy person. If my energy vibes with you, we just click at a goal, and then I cherish you, etc. So why do we need friends? So I googled something which was quite interesting, and we were making fun of it. So Tsholo's like, are you really gonna Google that? I said, I Google everything. And this thing, I picked up something here. It's a bit of an article. It's a mini article where it says friends are important, so important. In fact, that it's been proving that friendship can extend life expectancy and lower chances of heart diseases, right? Friendships helps us survive. Friendship, it ignites the part of the brain that makes us feel good, which makes us want to keep hanging out with our friends. Now, there's been friends where you're like, no, all they did was just cause heart diseases, really. or just
Heart
less than-
attacks.
heart attacks, anxieties, and messed up our brains, etc. So, like, why do we need friends? For me personally, I'm like, okay, I enjoy being alone. I'm a loner at heart. But at the same time, I enjoy having friends because you want to have someone that you can run to when you need help, or not only the negatives, but also when you want to celebrate. Someone who will be able to comfort you, and just having that being around besides family or a partner, just having a friend, an extended family, as I call them. Yeah.
So I think it's really nice to also have friends because of what they do to you. I think there is something about being around your friends that your brain becomes happy. All those happy chemicals go on for you. So that also builds on the connection. So I think initially you're drawn to people because of maybe circumstances. But what keeps the relationship going would be that connection. How good do you feel around those people? And it's a different type of relationship. It's not like your romantic partner or your family. It's a different type of relationship. It incorporates different things, and I think it's important to also see what that brings in your life and also fulfill that, because we all need different types of relationships that fulfill different roles for us. And I think a friendship fulfills a special role as well that's different from others.
Okay, so then what happens when that is broken? I mean, it starts off as what did you call? You said they bring that happy what?
No, like the dopamines.
Oh yeah. Oh, is that what you said?
I didn't say dopamine.
Chemicals
in your
Happy
brain.
chemicals in your brain. Yes. Yeah. Okay. But and then somewhere it like changes. I've had friends that were at some point were very good friends, like very close friends. And somewhere along the journey, they just became not so good friends. And I think I'm one of those people that has never been able to, I don't know how to deal with it. So, you know me. I'm not one to speak when I'm upset or uncomfortable. I literally just switch off. I don't know how to address certain things. And I think when I do, I'm very confrontational. Do you understand? Because when I am a friend, when I become your friend, I become a very loyal friend, a very loving friend, and I give my all. So I think it kind of makes me a bit naive sometimes to think, Hore, I could never be betrayed by a friend. So my reaction is always somehow aggressive or not so aggressive. And actually aggressive in a sense of sometimes I may come across like very confrontational, because now I want to be I'm forward. I want to be straight up. Like, you did this and that and that and that. Or I completely cut you out. I switch off. I feel like I don't need to address anything with you. Like, we are all grown folks, especially right now. You did me wrong. I don't need to address it. And I just don't want you to be part of my life. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But also, even after fixing, or maybe I address whatever, then the person comes back and apologizes. I find it very hard to go back to that friendship that we had. There will always be that
the distance
and the doubt. And sometimes they say you need to learn to forgive people. Now for me, I struggle with that. I really do. And sometimes I can see with certain friends, I've had friends that did something and I addressed it. It was put on the table, people apologize, or they apologize or whatever. And then it's like, okay, let's start afresh. At least now we start with honesty or whatever. But I struggle to move on. I become very aloof. Like, I'm like, hey, friend. But it's like, I actually don't trust you.
I think that's the point there. The last point is the trust. Once the trust has been broken, it's very hard to get back to where you were as friends. Because I think the friendship bond, you guys share a lot of things that you wouldn't otherwise share with other people. But when there is no trust, then you just don't feel like your friend can hold anything for you. But I also think, because you mentioned addressing things in a very aggressive way, it speaks to how intensely you care for your friends and how intensely you invest in the friendship, to the point that it means so much. And when that trust is broken, your only response would be, to aggressively say, but, I didn't expect this, and what is going on? So I think it's also more about that, which is there's something broken here, and I've invested, and I intensely care for you.
Yeah.
And I was intensely loyal to you, but you didn't reciprocate.
Yeah.
So that's where the I think the crux of the matter is. So most people will focus on the aggressiveness or how you handled it, but I think deep down underneath there is something about you hurting and the break in trust, and that also, I think it also translates into the other friendships, because then you'll be quite wary of other people when they approach you because of what you've experienced with friends. Then you might just not really trust other friends because of what you've experienced.
Yeah.
But in terms of forgiveness,
and this
I think
is for men
hard.
and women also, by the way, for both sexes. Yeah.
It is. But in terms of forgiveness, it is hard to move on from trust being broken.
I really struggle. Oh, you know this. I really.
Me too.
Hi, booby. I struggle with forgiveness. It's so weird how you can forgive a partner, but you can't. You struggle to forgive a friend. I'm like, I really struggle, because I'm like, I will never do you dirty, but it's for me. It's I'll never do you wrong. I'll never betray you. I'll never hurt you or whatever. But it's like, sometimes I think the thing is, when it's not done deliberately, then it's different. I think this is the thing. When it's not done, like when your intention wasn't to hurt me, then that's different. But if your intention was to hurt me, then it makes it harder for me to forgive you.
I can imagine, because you've been deceived. This person appeared a certain way, but their intentions were not quite genuine for you. So it's gonna be hard to move on from that, and you can't even trust the character of this person. So I think that is a double whammy, because now it's a character thing. Can I trust you moving forward, even if you apologize? Is it genuine?
No, true.
But I think there is something about friendships becoming more robust or becoming more strengthened when you guys are able to fight in a very constructive way. When you guys are able to argue in a very constructive way. But that is not about character. That is not about deception, That is rather about, this is my boundary, you crossed it, please can we discuss it? It's not about deception. And I think that's something that makes a relationship even stronger. If you guys can sit down and say, actually, you crossed the boundary, let's discuss. But that's the hardest thing as well.
It's the hardest thing ever.
That's the hardest thing.
I mean, I think I've sat down with people and I've listened to them apologize, and it literally goes in the one ear goes out the other ear. So, I mean, just to make an example, so there was a friend. Actually, no, I'm not gonna. No, because then it might just go left. I want to put you on the spot here. What do you think with the type of? I mean, you are in corporate.
In clinical.
Oh, sorry, clinical. But it's the same thing. Clinical, corporate, cockroach, wherever. But okay, clinical, right? Completely different to the industry that I'm in, entertainment. And I think this is what makes our bond like so strong, because you are completely different. We are coming from two different worlds, but somehow we meet each other some way, What do you think makes my industry? What do you think makes the entertainment industry so? With regards to the friendships, why do you think so many friendships are so? Why do you think friendships are so fickle?
Fickle was the word I had in mind.
Yes, that's why we are friends.
I think there's something about the genuineness of the relationship from the onset, because there is something about building your career in the entertainment industry and using the people around you to advance that. So I think sometimes when there aren't really other agendas at play, it's better to foster a friendship. But when there are other interests there, then it's hard to actually decide what is genuine, what is not.
Yeah.
And I think even the individuals might struggle to decide, because the friendship maybe from the onset was based on, let's connect, let's network, I know your brand, you know my brand, let's hang. And later on you become friends, so the boundaries become blurred on what's business, what's not, what's going to advance my brand, and noticing the amount of likes if I'm hanging around you, noticing the amount of likes that I'm getting if I'm hanging around someone else. So that might feel an advance, and what?
I know you guys did not understand.
So that
that's so true.
Yeah, that might fuel an agenda that wasn't there initially, because maybe you bonded because you needed to connect, you neted to be friends.
But now it becomes a business transaction.
Once you see what that relationship does for you in terms of entertainment, then it makes the boundaries quite gray. And
do you think it's good to balance, have friends from, like, I mean, my closest friends are outside of the industry.
They're in corporate.
They're in corporate and clinical. Okay. And it's you, Craig, Sons. Well, Craig is somehow in the entertainment industry, because he's a journalist. And then when you add like Boyanki, Clara Banks, and Kitty, where partly they are in the entertainment industry, but now that's beauty also. So, but they are somehow involved. But I feel like I have a balance between the two. So I've got my closest friends are the ones that are a bit away, or actually completely away, like with you, from the world that I live in. And then I've got friends that are, in the entertainment industry. Does the balance work? And is it okay for me sometimes to feel like I actually don't need the other one? Whichever one.
I think you need both.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. Because I think you need people in your industry. There's something about having that connection with people who actually go through the same struggles. That helps you as a person, where you feel supported and you feel like people understand. Because you might be speaking to me and I might not get some of the things. So I think you need both, and also you need someone on the outside. So different friendships fulfill different roles for us. And I think one thing that we try to do is try and adapt all our friendships to the same role. But if you get entertainment friends that you can talk entertainment business with, that can sympathize with you on other things, then that helps. And that might be more helpful than speaking to me. So I think it's useful to have a bit of everything.
All right, so a lot of times we always speak about how great, how I'm such a great friend. I'm a good friend, I go, all out, I do whatever. Sometimes you see on social media people say, I think I'm a great friend, whatever. How do I know if I'm a toxic friend? Because sometimes you'll think that you're a great friend, but you're actually not. You're actually the toxic one, but you're not aware.
You're spot on. You might not be aware you're the toxic friend, that you're the cancer in that relationship, but you feel like I'm doing what I need to do and everything is getting fulfilled for the other person. But I think the important thing would be talking between the friends. So if you're feeling like the relationship is not fulfilling and there are certain things which are not met, it's nice to talk to me and say, you know what, I actually feel like we could build on this area. That will help our relationship, and that's you expressing your need as well for the relationship. So I think people don't really speak much about what they need in the relationship. I think it becomes a matter of shame that if I speak up and say I'm not feeling quite fulfilled in this relationship, maybe the other person will take it that I'm needy. But I think it's useful to speak so that other people can get an awareness that maybe I'm not such a great friend, and that's okay. That gives me room to grow as a person. Correct.
I like that. So basically, discovering or underlining. I don't know. Sohoa Shilungu. Your English!
It came on a boat, it's fine.
It came on a boat, it's not our mother tongue. But basically, like I know my toxic, can you say toxic traits? And it's things that I try and work on every day as a friend. And I don't know how many of you guys can actually say, Horo, you know your toxic traits. By the way, please leave your comments there and say if you know what are your toxic traits. And it can be anything. Like with me, I mentioned earlier on that I struggle to forgive. And I'm always thinking the worst.
Well,
really? Why you
No, you're always thinking the worst.
I just threw myself under the bus. Woo! No, but honestly,
I was cheering for you.
No, but yeah, it's I know I'm always thinking the worst. Like, but I think it goes back to how, like, my experiences with regards to friendships. You know, I've been hurt by many friends in the past. I mean, recently and in the past. So I always think the worst. Like, it's if you sometimes say, okay, like when we have a date or I want us to bond and then she can't make it, I'm like, damn it, that's it. This friendship is ending. No, okay, that's a bit dramatic.
No, it is that.
Yeah. You are lying. But I become like, I sulk. I really do. But I think it goes back to, because I love my friends so much and their time means so much to me. And also remember, I don't have time. You know, I work Monday to Monday. So the little time that I want to spend with my friends, it's like, it's a lot to me, you know. So
yeah,
I get very disappointed. I get sad and I sulk. But then obviously after a while, then it's like, oh, whatever, you know, it's still my bestie anyway.
But it's not that. I think we talk a bit more about that when it happens.
Yeah.
I think we give ourselves time to process that, okay, I was busy, you were free. And, you know, if it happens that you stand me up as well, it's the same. That it's not cool. But we talk.
Yeah.
That's the important.
Yeah.
It's not like
Correct.
you actually just cut off all communication.
You talk. You address without anyone. And I think this is what I love about our friendship is that, and I mean with Craig and Sonia, Yankee and Ketiwe, etc., is that we, if I know with Ketiwe, Ketiwe is here. I know with Ketiwe sometimes if I'm unhappy with something, you know, I'll say, and she never takes it to heart, and vice versa. Do you know what I mean? It's never offensive. But I think this is where the genuineness of the friendship comes in. You know, Craig will say, Loretta, she's such a Cancerian, you know. And I say, okay. I was being a bit dramatic then. So yeah, I think I'm hoping that you watch this with your friends because it's very, very important. Whether you've got, I mean, we talk about young people, we're talking about older people. This is really fantastic. So, you know, discovering your toxic traits, working on them to become a better person.
And I think a friendship is the playground where you can really work on yourself.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the amount of work you can do in a friendship because of the feedback you get from your friends. And you can grow and it can make other relationships even better as well. Because now you are aware of your own blind spots. Because we all think we're brilliant.
Yeah.
Until you hear from someone that actually there are things you can work on. And a friendship is a place where that can be done with so much care.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What makes one a great friend? I wanted to put you on the spot and say what makes you a great friend. Then I thought, okay, I should ask you what makes me a great friend, but we're not going to do that because you might just have one point.
Oh.
Which is sad.
Heart attack.
Wow. But what makes one a great friend? Clinically.
Wow.
Biologically. Scientifically. Combustionally. Okay, I don't know what combustion has to do with anything, but anyway. Yeah.
I think the openness to grow is so important.
Yeah.
The openness to hearing. Because I think initially when you hear something bad about yourself, you might want to defend your case. But I think what we do is take some time, let it settle a little bit, and then come back to it to address it. Because if you address it on the spot when emotions are intense, then the friendship might end up breaking, and the focal point would be that incident, that
Yeah.
there was a big outburst and that was it. But I think openness to growth, openness and not being defended to hearing what your friends are saying, and it not being about only your needs. Relationships are about other people's needs as well, and you need to fulfill that in order to feel fulfilled in the relationship as well.
So last but not least, because we are fast running out of time. Max is he needs to be somewhere. Max has become the most popular photographer in the country, and now he just doesn't have time for me.
You know, is he a friend? A good friend?
Max, are you a friend?
Yes, a very good one.
Max is not a friend. By the way, at Written Digital, so do follow him on all social media platforms. So, one last one. I need to
Can I ask you a question as well?
Oh yeah, ask me.
No, finish your question.
Okay. What do you think of what you call squads? Cliques. I mean, we see that very common amongst males and females. What's the good side of it and what's the bad side of it?
Sure. Max, do we have enough time? So with cliques, there's something so valuable about connecting with people where you have the same kind of ideology, the same beliefs, and you feel connected. But sometimes there is a limitation with being in a clique because you can't break away in terms of, beliefs or following a different path. So you start thinking about yourself as an individual and advancing yourself or being a part of the clique. And all these things happen to us at a we're not even aware of it, that it's quite unconscious, where you feel very loyal to the clique, but we all have our own personal agendas, our own personal journeys that we need to follow. And sometimes a clique might actually stifle you in terms of that. So I think when a clique is stifling, that's the disadvantage. But I think it's really valuable to also have your own clique where people share the